All right, welcome again to SportsConvos, where we get every sport fan talking about sports. That's what we do here. Just keep on talking. Talk about it. What's been happening, what has been, trending in recent times, right? But this time around, I think the biggest thing happening is the World Cup. And obviously, things have happened in the last 1 week. But before I get into things for the day, I have my two guests here. No, do I call them guests or two fans in the building? So let's take it away. Let's meet you guys.
Hi guys, my name is Ada. Popularly called Ada, but my name is Goodness Armstrong. It's good to be here. Been looking forward to this in a while, but yeah, happy to be here.
Welcome, Ada.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Yusuf Balogun, call me Yusuf generally, and I'm a product manager with Skill Africa. So it's good to be here. We talk about sports generally. We've had the death of that recently. We're going to talk about sports, football in particular. So Nigeria is not in the World Cup now, but at least we can have a conversation around World Cup, even though we're not there yet. So I'm excited to be here.
Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you, Ada. So I think you've just, what we call in golf is when we tee it off. With that,
exactly.
You just teed it off. You just make it happen. Like you just say, okay, guys, you don't reach your, let's go bunkers.
They have to tell us that Nigeria is not in the World Cup. We know.
We already know. No thanks to Ghana. Right,
and they're playing today.
Ghana game. Right. But let's just hit it. Let's just hit it. So we all know the World Cup last week Sunday. Fantastic opening ceremony, the glitz glam. And of course the first game of the World Cup, Ecuador, Qatar. And I think between that time till date, I think all the 32 teams have played at least a match.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I think it ended yesterday.
So let's start by saying they've played about I think it's 16 games. Mm-hmm. 16 games. We've recorded 41 goals as at their first matches, nice. Right? So that means there's a lot of high scoring. But for you,
it's just 3 teams, though. That 16 goals is between 3 teams.
But for you, again, and back to this, for you, what has been the highlight, and what obviously has been the low light in their first, matches? Any of the teams that you have been looking after? So let's hear from you, Ada.
A bit of surprise for me for some games, and then in some games, no surprises at all. I think a lot of people come into the World Cup. Of course, some people trying to support their country, some other people looking out for young, new players, some other people, looking out for their club people in their countries, maybe like Arsenal fans looking at England for Saka and stuff like
fans, that. Yes.
Liverpool fans looking for, So for me, I think I tell people that have 5 teams in the World Cup, don't blame me. And so I've been typically looking out for the teams where the people that I support in local football play. And so far so good. My teams have done well in the first round, except 1 or 2. So Germany lost their first game, which was ridiculous. But I have to give it to Japan. They played a good game. So I think the surprising one for me for the first round or so has been Argentina's loss. I mean, while I'm not a big fan of the country and I'm not a fan of everyone that wants Messi to win, I didn't see it coming. I actually thought they would win the game. So yeah, that was a surprise for me. But also England has won. Super impressed with that. My boy Bellingham doing his thing. Netherlands won as well, which is good. So a couple of my teams have won, and I'm happy about it. For the first round, I think we're good.
So for you, couple of teams, have played, you're satisfied. Well, some not too good, The Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia, same
happy
for
about it.
Germany's lost to Japan. Yusuf, what has been the big highlight, low light for you? First matches.
Yeah, to start with, I think the goals has been much, and I wasn't expecting that generally. And also the management of the World Cup itself. We're looking at Qatar, how they manage the whole World Cup, and they've not done it before. And so far, it's been impressive, aside from the fact they're giving too much extra minutes. We noticed 7 minutes, 14 minutes after maybe first half. At first match, about 7 minutes was too much. But generally, it's been good. And in terms of country-wise, yeah, some countries have been supporting quite, like what she mentioned about Argentina. We expect more from them. But generally it's been good for me. I think yesterday's match was the highlight for me, the Ghana against Portugal match. It was interesting to see Ghana coming out and dragging it out with Portugal, a whole lot of back and forth.
A good game.
So it's even though as a Nigerian I feel like Ghana shouldn't be there, Nigeria should be there generally. But from African wise, it's actually good. So for me generally it's been impressive. I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it.
Yeah. So just holding on that thought, or just jumping on that thought that you have just mentioned, Yusuf, right? So let's also talk about the African representation at the World Cup. They've played their first set of matches. Also listened to JJ the other day that he said, are the teams from Africa just there to add color to the event, or they are really there to compete? So 5 teams have played their matches, and what do we have to say in terms of the African representation? How well have they fared?
Yeah, the African teams, they've done quite well, even though we expect more. Ghana game yesterday, they show spirit, they show grit, they show desire to actually match up to Portugal, even though it wasn't there. The Senegal game, unfortunately we don't have money. I believe we had money would have done better in that match. I know they were struggling up to 80 minutes before there was the slip off and towards last 10 minutes whereby you had Mendy made some mistakes and they had scored 2 goals. So generally Mendy's mistake. I'm a Chelsea fan, but I feel pain. So but it's been good showing, but they could do more. They can do more, because generally what I'm expecting from African team, at least if not the final, but they should break that jinx of getting semi-final. Ghana was close last time. It was so great that the Suarez handball that messed up the whole thing. So I hope this year they'll go further. I hope, but though the matches so far hasn't shown that, but I've seen the spirit, we've seen the signs. It's 3 matches for the group stage. So hopefully they will come up and show us better spirit in the coming matches.
Ada.
Me, I'm not going to sit here and say, I don't wish the African countries well. I wish them well, to be fair. I think Mendy is a punk, by the way. He totally messed that game up. Senegal would have at least gotten a point from that game if Mane was playing and Mendy was a bit tidier. But the Portugal game yesterday, I was impressed. I was really impressed with Ghana.
Okay,
I was impressed with Ghana.
I thought you were impressed with Cristiano Ronaldo, breaking the world record, five World Cups.
Super happy for him, man. So scoring everywhere. They don't give the guy the credit he deserves. I think some people just hate the guy for nothing. Did you see that jump? Like, some people at 25 can't even go that high.
Yeah.
So super impressed with Ghana. Still talking on the African thing. I'm happy for them. I mean, they didn't pay the goalkeeper enough. He would have let them score that 3rd goal. So the guy well now. But super impressed that at least they're the first African country to score. Yeah. So while that's not an achievement in itself, I think they showed well. They showed, like you said, spirit. They showed great. They really showed that they were not playing for a draw. They wanted to actually, get a point from the game. But unfortunately, that didn't happen for them. But to be fair, no Nigeria is going to any semi-final. No African country is going to any semi-final.
So based on that, and Yusuf, and I need your take out on this. Yusuf believes an African country can get into the semi-finals, right? And
from which group?
Wait now. And Ada believes no. Who is game with me on this?
Let's even talk about the groups where African countries are in. So there's Ghana in the group where you have
Uruguay, Portugal, and which is the last team?
Korea. Japan.
I think Japan.
No. I think no.
It was Japan.
Uruguay, Korea.
Korea, yeah. So Japan is in Germany's group, yes. So who they won't beat? I just want to.
They won't beat country.
They can beat
country.
They won't beat country. So what Saudi Arabia did for Argentina.
Okay.
Could have put that off. You couldn't have expected that.
Which other group they
So we also have.
So there's the Cameroon's group, right?
We have the Cameroon's group, Switzerland.
That's even an easier group to be in, but that's not the right country to be there.
On the first level, you can actually pick some country that you say this will go far. But World Cup, surprises happened. Things spawn up out of the blues, and also some players
let's come back this episode's semi-final time.
Yeah,
Okay, let's look at after the group stage. Probably we should come back after the group stage and look at these are the options that we have. Because yes, it's far-fetched from now. I can't assume semi-final for now, but I'm just saying from the optimistically African perspective. Okay, I'm actually hopeful.
Yeah.
But like what you said, the options realistically now is tight. It's not feasible.
There's something a commentator said one time. He said it was telling Man U fans, it's the hope that kills you. So just for me, I don't hope.
Arsenal fans, hope that kept them up to now. Now they are
Which
hipping
hope?
the
It's not hope.
they've been waiting for long.
I don't understand why. I don't know why you're keeping this like Arsenal. We just know that we are going into December 26th on top of the league, and that's what is happening.
Okay.
So let's come home. Let's come home.
Okay.
So I wrap on this African conversation on Convos here. If you were to pick one team from Africa that potentially they can make the semi-finals based on their first round matches, which team would that be? Yusuf? Yeah.
Ghana.
Ada?
Ghana or Senegal?
One.
Based on their group.
No, based on the first round matches they have played, what team would that be for you?
I would have said Senegal without Mendy, but that's not possible, right?
Yeah, they obviously have a reserve goalkeeper, right? So
let's be Ghana.
So let's be Ghana. I think Ghana has showed up and they showed up well.
Yeah.
No thanks
they played a tougher team, so I'll give it to Ghana.
The same team that Nigeria played, the friendly, right? Okay, great. So we hear you.
Major one.
So it's Ghana. That is the African that is carrying the African flag potentially for for a semi-final berth. Now let's move on to this. Right, surprises happened. First round matches. Let me ask this question, and Yusuf or Ada Yusuf, any which way. Which was the biggest upset?
I think it was the Argentina one, to be fair. Let's be honest. Like, you wouldn't see Argentina lose that game on paper, even when it started.
Okay. Because
Argentina actually were playing better. They were playing a better game. Yeah. So I didn't see them losing that game. So I think for me, that's the big. They had the biggest upset.
For you, that's the biggest upset. So Argentina losing to Saudi Arabia and the Prince of Saudi Arabia, appreciating the boys with a phantom H.
What?
Whoa.
Are you hearing it? No, it's not Yemi that said so. It's out there.
I heard the public holiday they announced.
What is public holiday? I say give each of them fan. Well, that's good. So that's big enough to be a surprise.
I just know that Qatar Airways, that's their new advert. So.
Yeah. Anyways,
for me, it's actually that match that I mentioned now. Saudi Arabia. It was from out of the blues. No, the day before we actually watched Qatar match. Like Qatar against Ecuador. This Asian team are not Middle Eastern are not turning up yet. Yeah. And second, we had to watch Saudi Arabia against Argentina. It was surprising, and the goals were beautiful.
Yeah, and Iran against
Argentina scored penalty, and they scored two beautiful goals.
Have you seen the traction with the penalties in this?
Yeah.
If you win, if you score with penalty, you lose.
No. But Portugal jinxed it.
When Africa is involved,
everything. So for you as well, it's also Saudi Arabia.
Definitely.
Game. Yeah. Does it have to do because Martinez, the goalkeeper for Argentina, left Arsenal for?
Can you just speak?
Okay, just say it now. So let's move on. VAR, there was a time VAR has always been, very controversial, in tournaments and across the league. So far, first games that we've watched thus far, how would we,
VAR stands for very controversial.
How would we, assess, that level of, how do I say it?
Technology.
The decisions that have come out from, so far. We know that there was, Salisu yesterday and Ronaldo. Was that penalty? Was it really a penalty? That's question mark. We also saw the Valencia goal in the first game that was ruled out. Exactly. And we are like, okay, so what happened? And of course, Belgium.
There's always a new rule.
Canada match. Now I hear that AI has been, used to enhance VAR. But from your perspective, so far so good. How would your rating of VAR?
Yeah, generally it's been obvious in the results, like what you mentioned, the major decisions about things that VAR has interfered. Right, the first match. I'm still looking at like Zion offside, the first match where they had to call up, because I was looking at the players at the front, but now I learned that if the ball is after the keeper, it has to be two players behind the keeper. So it's a new rule actually, and I think we're still trying to understand the whole exceptions.
We are still trying to understand the
old one.
Yes, they brought a new rule again, so it's actually evolving, and it's to me actually it's taking away the spirit from football sometimes, because you're like, oh, you believe that they go like come back VAR is saying there's something else involved, and after the match, you get to know the new rules after the match, not before the match. So to me, actually, it's actually a major thing. Yeah, future of football, it reduce controversies, but generally, we need to be very clear about what we stand for about VAR. It seems like we are still reviewing the whole process, just trying to decide what VAR to call and what not to call. So it's been there, it's disrupting some things for me, sure.
So from Yusuf, VAR, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Ada?
I mean, to be fair, like, I was telling somebody yesterday, I said, these decisions will favor some people, but it would also work for some people, right? So, of course, in the first game, you would say that it was against Valencia, the guy who scored the goal. But if you see the game against Germany, if there wasn't VAR, Germany would have gotten a goal, but that goal was offside, right? Yes, I think it was today as well. The goalkeeper for Iran, the game against Iran versus Wales, he had given a yellow card, but VAR made him turn into a red, and that was appropriate, right?
So you're talking about Wayne Hennessy of Wales.
Yes,
the goalkeeper. Okay.
So for me, I think on those two calls, yes. On the other two calls, maybe right? So, but that's what happens with VAR. Is not just majorly technology. People are also involved. So when there's man and technology, that sync still is always going to have it's always there's always subjectivity, because somebody has to make that call. So even if VAR shows you 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, the referee ends up making a call of is it a penalty or not. Do you understand what I mean? So I think it's worked both ways, good and bad.
So it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
It's a thumb middle.
That's another one, thumbs middle. All right, so we've talked about VAR. Now let's go into the sweet stuff, right? Very close to what would say who would be likely winners, but from the first round games, which team has performed?
Looks like it.
Looks like.
But there's no one team now.
Which no. Which for you?
Tell us to say at least 3. Tell us to give like 3.
Okay. Brazil match.
I beg.
Actually enjoyed
tell us to
that.
give like 3.
No. Let's say. Yes, you could say, the array of this, but I feel based on what you've seen thus far. And Yusuf, you tell me Samba Boys.
Yes.
See, I'm not gonna lie, man. That Brazil team, like up until 90 minutes when they were making their changes, I'm like, who they won't put again for this team?
The bench is amazing.
Is so complete. It is ridiculous.
No,
their second goalkeeper is Henderson.
No. We are saying, are you looking at the squad?
Yeah, from the performance.
Or you are looking at the performance that happened.
The squad,
but they only scored, how many goals did they scored? 2, but there were teams that scored 7. Were they convincing enough?
No. So that's
there were teams that scored 6. Were they convincing enough?
So for me, my best team of this round has been England. First round.
Wow.
But we know England and their drama, and they're never winning the World Cup except they host it. But I think they were my best team. Bellingham, Saka, amazing game. Loved it. I also did like Spain, even if I'm not a big fan, but they played good football. They played some good football, right? And then, of course, Brazil yesterday. Oh my gosh, my boys, France.
Almost forgot.
Loved it. Loved Mbappe. What? So I mean.
So no, just hold that thought. Mbappe.
England, France.
No,
Brazil.
hold the thought. Now I'm going back to that. So Mbappe. Do you think the French team is missing Karim Benzema?
Who is that?
The French team.
I beg. You're not missing him. Nothing.
You're making up for that.
Good.
What? Giroud is there. Underrated.
So bottom line, Benzema not required.
No, not required.
Great.
Not required.
I actually think they'll still miss him. Maybe knockout stage.
Maybe at the clutch stages, right? You can't say that Benzema is a great player. He is. And
no, he's the world.
Ballon d'Or winner.
Yeah,
yes.
So.
From an outstanding season that he had, let's give him the credit. But I think France has enough to win the World Cup, and they cannot blame Benzema if they don't.
So for me, I would say Brazil, like I mentioned, their football. I know there's one thing is for you to win, and one thing for you to do. Yes, these people have the squad to actually consistently win these games. Like you mentioned, England won 6-3. Spain won 7-0. But there's when you look at the whole competition broadly, you realize that Brazil has the higher chances because as I'm just win, they have the squad depth. You have the players that can turn in and out. I like Spain team.
They did not turn in and out yesterday.
They are they have the squad actually. No, I like the Spanish team very well. They're very young, exciting players, energetic. But when you get to knockout stage, you need experience. You don't have that blend of young players and experience. You have Busquets, fine, but how many of them do they have? How many of experienced players do they have? The English team are very good. Like what you mentioned, they have this history of we'll win it, it's coming home, but when is it coming home? We don't know when. So so they actually won the match, But for me, I put the Brazilian boys because they are young, they have a blend of experience and energy, and they also they had Neymar in their team. You don't do it.
Which Neymar?
They have good thing. And come to the French team. The French team to me, they actually, even though I feel they will still miss Kante one way or the other, along the line they miss Benzema. But for now they are solid. They are solid. But when it gets to the later stage of the competition, you need experience. You need to dig deeper. Mbappe is there, fine, but I still rate the Brazilian team.
So what I hear both of you say is a Brazil-France final.
It's not that deep. Can they even meet in the final? Have you checked the?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying based on what you guys are telling.
That'll be a final to watch. It will be a final to watch. Brazil,
well, let's keep that thought there and ask this question. Now that you're talking about Brazil and France, let me ask this question. Based on their first round matches that they've lost, do you think
Brazil,
Germany, or Argentina will make it out?
Germany has.
I like how you just said "ha," because it's as if
because this World Cup
that those teams Argentina.
To me, I think they will make it. It's just a blip. It's even good for their reality check. It gives them that. It means they're humble. And like this guy, you have set up. Yeah. They have the squad depth to actually come on. Germany, for example, they can just. I feel they were just like a certain kind of. They felt like just normal match.
One goal up.
But now knowing that you can actually lose your match, you have teams that are they are small on paper, but on the field you are equal. Yeah. And it's where the Middle East countries, they have the fans, they have this psychological boost of won our first match. So I think they can still make up. Germany can come out, Argentina can come and they can dig deep and come. And Messi factor is there too.
To be honest, Argentina has a stronger chance.
Yeah, they can.
So what both of you are saying is, irrespective of their loss, they are all coming out of. I told
my brother something. I said two things can happen from this first round loss of Argentina and Germany. It can either push them to the final, or they'll go home. It's a big possibility that they go home from their second round games. Big possibility.
If I recall, the last edition, Germany didn't make it out of the group stages, and Argentina struggled. I think no thanks to Nigeria defeating us 2-1. That's how they could crawl because they lost against Croatia and they played a draw against Iceland. So they needed
that they both don't make it out, but it's possible that they didn't make it out.
But from what we have said now, both of them will make it out.
They have a possibility.
They have a possibility of making it. Don't make it out from their own loss. They will actually be doing.
Who has been the standout player for you?
So many good players, though.
I don't know if you have a standout player.
But which player that has impressed you?
Okay, but I think Ronaldo actually is someone I actually admire from afar. I like his mental strength, even though with all the heat and everything, he still always live up to the match. He might have a lot of drama behind the scene. He has ego and he likes, but he actually surprises me at this age. We expect him to be doing performances and everything, but he's actually still showing up. He's still the man for the big occasion. So for me, it's actually a surprise, and I feel big ups to him. Big ups to him.
So for you, it's Ronaldo.
Ronaldo
stands out. Ada?
I really enjoyed Bellingham in the England game.
Does it have to do with something of your personal?
I don't care. I actually, when it's different to have a hype coming into the World Cup and living up to that hype, right? Of course, Bellingham had English media. They will hype you till they kill you. But he actually played a good game. Him and Saka had a very, very good game for England. So I wanted to add one more player, Oliver Giroud. Amazing guy. Like, I've always thought that he was a good player, but my brother always mentioned that he was underrated. I agreed last week. I think Giroud is amazing.
So for you, it's Olivier
Giroud for the France game. I mean, Mbappe is almost like a given. I expect him to do well. But Giroud, I didn't see coming. Amazing. I loved it.
I had someone to that list too. I had Bukayo Saka. Yeah. I don't like Arsenal, to be frank, but I have to give it up to you.
No,
Don't change your face. He does not like
I don't
Arsenal. It's not
necessarily
my
have to
fault.
say
Yes.
I don't like Arsenal.
I just have to
He
play
can
that
you
say-
can
for
say
just for the
no.
record.
Just say Bukayo Saka.
Bukayo Saka is
doesn't
very
like
good.
that.
He actually showed in the first match. I like the way he play, and even Nigerian guy. So he has shown that he's young, but he actually have that.
He has sense, he has
That's their
sense.
potential. That's due to actually show up in big matches, and actually give big ups to him. English team generally, even though we know England always starting. But
We know.
It's good.
So Bukayo Saka, Olivier Giroud, Jude Bellingham,
Ronaldo.
and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Let me ask this question and piggyback on this Cristiano Ronaldo thing. Is he the greatest ever?
That's debatable.
To do what?
It's
No,
gonna
don't start.
divide the whole
To
audience.
do what?
Just checking.
Is he the greatest ever to what?
This
No,
that Louis Vuitton
football player?
ads, this one.
No, so is he the greatest ever in terms of when you talk about football right now? Does he stand in that league of the greatest ever footballer to come out of this part of the world?
If footballers of yours, okay. For me, actually, I like comparing them in Messi because that's the debate. We talk about. For me, I feel in terms of what you can do as a person, how you can build yourself, how you can mentally psych yourself up to achieve greatness. I think Ronaldo has it there. I feel Messi is talented, super talented. Without effort, he is talented. But Ronaldo is someone that's shown over and over that without talent, even with talent, you can put in the hard work. You can match someone with talent. So to me, he's actually there in his own league. But Messi is also in a different league entirely. Someone that people have already pitched. I saw the ads about Louis Vuitton where they pitch Ronaldo and Messi in game of chess. It's about them. This is more like their final World Cup.
There's no football talk without Ronaldo
So
and
it's
Messi.
gonna be somehow for the football world without them in next World Cup. But for me, I will still feel Messi and Ronaldo are up there in different category. Talent, Messi, hard work, commitment, dedication. And
I think you want to mess yourself up if you want to keep on this debate about who's the greatest of both of them. I think it's a big mess up because if you talk about goals, Ronaldo has it in the bag, right? Then you talk about playmaking, Messi has it in the bag. So there's no way that you're going to tell me that one is so worlds apart from the other. They're both amazing players. They make each other better. I feel like, if there wasn't the other person, it would be difficult to... They both bring out the best of each other because they've coexisted in that era together. Do you understand? So for me, I think they both played in 5 World Cups. Like, how? Ridiculous. How? And still playing really good football. Still, if Portugal loses today, is Ronaldo the call. Argentina lose, is Messi the call. There are 10 players, so it's only 2 of them. That so you can't. Those guys have carried the identity of football for a long time, and I think they both deserve every credit that they get. Unfortunately, I think people pick on Ronaldo a bit too much. Personalities are different. Ronaldo and Messi are 2 different personalities in that sense. If you bring their personalities together, they're different people. Messi is more reserved, chilled, quiet guy. Ronaldo is a showman. Let him do his thing.
And with that, I would also, use this opportunity to, speak to our audience. We've been listening to so many things that have been happening. So, we want to hear from you. Is Ronaldo the greatest ever? Which team are you still supporting to win the World Cup? And who has impressed you in terms of country? Who has impressed you in terms of players during the World Cup? The first round. I know that we're going into the second round, and by the end of next week we would have
at least we'll be clear on.
We'll go through the group stages. But as I leave, just one
you
question.
Want to leave?
No, as I leave, this the set for this edition. Just one quick question. Just one quick question. December 18th, 2022. Who would lift that title?
Oh man, I don't know. To be fair, I don't know. I can't predict. But I would typically wish and hope that is one of the teams that I support. So it's either France, England, Germany, Netherlands. Any of them, I'm happy.
You can't pick one?
No, I can't. Any of them that wins, I'm happy.
I feel there's to be a shocker in this competition. So the big boys that we are seeing now might end up not being the big boys when it comes to the knockout stage. So, but I'm still hopeful that Samba boys do it.
And Brazil.
I want Brazil to go far.
I don't mind Brazil.
I also look at Argentina, even though they lost their first match. I actually like the Argentina.
No,
for Messi.
But we forget that a big part of this World Cup before we go is about Messi lifting the World Cup.
Yeah.
Why are we acting like we don't know that?
So for Messi,
if Messi leaves that World Cup, the end.
the argument,
what?
End of comparison.
will be
So both of them
something
haven't
else.
lifted the World Cup, and
Yeah.
which is still what keeps them both in that. Okay,
league.
if Messi leads this World Cup, the end.
I just
So,
imagine a Portugal
let both of them
Argentina
go
final.
home
That would be
without
the
the
ideal
cup.
final.
So
Portugal
That
Argentina.
would be mad.
Portugal,
Argentina.
That
final.
would
Just
be
imagine
mad.
December 18, and whoever wins it, that will take the bragging right
The
down.
whole
Yes.
world, the whole world be on standstill.
Yes.
Looking
That'd
at
be
which of the goal to
crazy.
come out.
And with that, just saying, we want to hear from you. Thank you for how far we have come on Sport Convos. Also, just hit that subscribe button, because more content out of Sport Convos would be coming through. And just like we always say it, we are not pros. We are just simple fans that are crazy about what we do support in terms of football.
Yeah.
And with that, catch you later. Thank you.
Thank you.